Time to take a bow. We present to you Aaron Rodgers expert, LaVar Arrington.
Oh, relax.
I mean, called
relax.
a shot.
Come on.
Listen, look,
Dude,
I mean,
you called it. You were like, this is all BS. He's not coming back. I wish we cut up the sound. We probably don't have it, do we?
I mean,
It doesn't matter.
Look, this is also the second time you said that he wasn't going to retire as well, too.
I wanted you to bet it. Now, if you would have bet, I'd take a victory lap. You didn't bet. And I don't know what the bet would have been, but you didn't take it, regardless or whatever.
Maybe Mr. Sticks for a day?
I mean, that would
We
be
wouldn't have known
interesting.
back then. But
What is the Stanley Cup? Everybody gets it for a day.
that'd be awesome.
So Aaron Rodgers spoke with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee Show starring A.J. Hawk and talked about just where he's at medically. There's been a lot of stories out there. He was, Wednesday was the deadline, the 21-day window that was open. Has he been medically cleared? Is there anything worth playing for? Let's listen to A-Raj.
I think the whole time it's been, hoping that we're still in it because it was unrealistic to think that I would be 100% to be medically cleared at any point during the regular season. I do feel like, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, it would be very possible to get to 100%, but obviously not there. And so the conversation was away from 100% medical clearance to a willingness to play. And that's never been a problem for me. If I was 100% today, I'd be definitely pushing to play.
That sucks, man. I wanted to see it.
I did too.
Come on.
Can I be honest with you, though? I think when he saw that offensive line this past week versus the Dolphins, he was like, yep, definitely not ready. Like a little bit of a setback there. Because I don't know who would want to stand behind that line the way they played. I mean, that's a group that wasn't even going against Jalen Phillips. Like they looked phenomenal. Give the Dolphins a lot of credit, but the Jets from the start of the season to now, the offensive line has been an issue, and I think outside of just coming back from that injury, and then the potential of re-injuring it, which we've seen players do, you wouldn't want to play behind an offensive line that's like. I mean, forget about the Achilles. Like, it could be a concussion. It could be a lot of other things with the way those young men were being absolutely teed off on last week. So, it's just – I mean, LaVar, you called it, man. I mean, you've been through the injury, so you understand all what goes into it.
I do, and I just even with the advances in technology, connected to the surgery, your body is still your body. And it's only so much that you can ask it to do in response to a surgery, like a major surgery. Now, unless we were off on the severity of what it was, maybe it wasn't a complete rupture, and maybe there were some variants or variations of it that wasn't necessarily clear, but if he fully ruptured that bad boy, which that's what it looked like on film, that's just, I mean, first off, it is a hard injury. It's one of the hardest. I believe it's the biggest tendon in your body. That's first off. That's going to be hard on a weight-bearing tendon to come back and be ready to go in a game situation. Not like he should be applauded for being able to walk normal, to be able to do his daily living normal so early and so quickly, let alone the feat of going into a game.
Where were you at 3.5 months out?
I don't really remember, but I'll say that was I probably limped for like 2 years. I limped. Just because it just felt like the air was out of my foot, as if you thought that your foot was a tire. I didn't never look at my foot as a tire, but I just didn't have the lift on that foot. Like, it just felt different than my other foot. And it just, I didn't move the same way. Like, it was a limp. And that was like for 2 years straight. Now, granted, I wasn't pushing to get back to play football. A lot of people thought that I was trying to come back. I was done when I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I looked around. That was it. So I didn't really pay attention to the details of it. I did rehab for a couple months after rehab with the team. I didn't rehab as much as I should have once I left the Giants. But I got to tell you, I got a pretty high pain threshold, pain tolerance. The first few weeks out of that surgery, it had tears coming out of my eyes of pain. And they weren't even like voluntary tears. Like I wasn't like sitting there like I'm crying, like I'm weeping. Like it hurt so bad that it was forcing tears out of my eyes, out of my face. And it was just that was a wild, and I was in a motorcycle accident. So I've dealt with like serious injuries. Like I broke my back. Yeah, like it was spinal. I broke my back. And like that was hard getting out of the bed and walking around. I didn't think that it even compared to how bad that Achilles injury was. It was like, this isn't even, it's painful, but this isn't anything compared to that.
Somebody told me that, I talked to a guy who did the same, he tore his Achilles, and he said that when you tear the Achilles, the way it was explained to him, all the nerves are cut immediately. So you don't really feel it, but it's after the surgery and the rehab is when it's the most painful.
Bro, that thing was painful when I did it.
Yeah, it depends.
And that thing was painful after.
Yeah, when he said it to me, I was like, really?
You know what I love about Jonas, though? Jonas be talking a lot about injuries a lot in like second person. You know, he's like, hey, I know a buddy.
What do you want me to do?
And he told me when you tear your Achilles, there's actually no pain whatsoever.
That's just what he told me. He said it on Sunday night. What do you want from me?
And actually, he actually started to get aroused because after he tore his Achilles. That's how weird.
That's
like
not
Jonas
true.
will say the weirdest stuff about injuries sometimes.
That's not true. I'm just repeating what I was told. Okay.
I know, but I want to know all these people you talk to that have got these injuries. Like,
look,
do you go to the grocery store and just start randomly asking people,
"Hey,
shoot
the messenger.
Have you torn your Achilles? Have you torn your ACL? Talk to me how it feels."
You know what was who told me? The guy I do a TV show with. That guy.
Which one?
Manolo.
Oh.
The guy. He told me. He's
so give your Manolo impression. How did he say you heard it?
I don't have a Manolo impression. We just had.
You don't have one?
No, I don't have one. Listen, that's my guy.
Does he talk like that on TV?
I don't know.
You work with him. How do you not know?
I mean, he talks how he talks. I can't. I'm not.
Oh, so it's not like it's not an Instagram thing.
No, I mean, listen, when he does the show, he talks like how he does on Instagram, I guess you could say. How he talks off the air. I'm not here to discuss that. I'll just say he told me that when he tore his Achilles, he didn't really feel it, but that it was afterwards, post-surgery, is when he felt it the most.
Man, I'll tell you what, Chopper has told me for as long as I live, like, I don't even know if this is true, but he used to always be like, hey, he's like, Chops, when you start driving now, he's like, you got to look out from underneath your car. He goes, because there's stories back when I was young. He's like, these guys, they used to try to carjack people, and they'd hide underneath the car. And when you go to get in, they take a knife, and they just cut that Achilles right there. And for as long, I was like 16-year-old.
You used to check under that bad boy.
I was like, I don't know who can fit under here, but someone might be able to fit under here. Like in a Pontiac Grand Am, a two-door. I was like,
ain't nobody fitting under that.
Bending down underneath. I'd be like on a date, and they'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, I don't
just
know.
making sure nobody cut your heels, baby.
Yeah.
Who's hiding under the car cutting?
You'll thank me later.
Chopper had me paranoid about that stuff, man.
What am I looking for? Look at this.
I don't know.
Drag that mother sucker from underneath.
And I remember I got a little older. I was like, "Hey, Chops, like." I had shoes on, though. I feel like that'd have to be a pretty big and sharp knife, like to cut through the Achilles. He's like, no, Chopper. He's like, they'll get you just right above the heel. He's like, tell you, they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. I was like, all right.
And are they going? Are they going right?
About 4 foot tall. You pull him from under there, about 4 feet long.
It's like a gnome.
You little mother lover.
You're one of Santa's little helpers.
Get out of here.
Taking out your car.
Go get under somebody else's car. This is a Pontiac, dummy.
I was like, I don't know, Chops. I don't think they're coming after me in the Pontiac, but we'll see.
You have to carry that tradition onto your son, though. That's got to
Yeah,
be done.
yeah,
It
I mean-
it has to happen.